I just drank some water and it's so cold. I can like feel it like traveling down. Okay, anyways, how much more ridiculous can my mic setup get? This is a bottle of lotion that is currently propped up on 2 books. Those books are Night Shift by Stephen King and Don Quixote by Miguel de Cervantes. I'm currently drinking out of the water bottle that I use for my mic stand. Sorry, I washed it, dried it, and now I'm drinking out of it. And I'm not going to put my earbuds on it, so give me suggestions as to how ridiculous, like what else you want to see me use, because I'm willing to play this game. I'm willing to go the long run. I think it's far more visually entertaining to look at because I'm not doing my makeup for this video. This is not my usual style of commentary or rambling video. Normally, if I want to talk about something like this, I will do a makeup and mumbling episode about it. But because it's like 2:15, 2:30 in the morning, I don't want to do my makeup right now. Regardless, this is unscripted, so if it is very scatterbrained, there's a lot of weird cuts. I apologize in advance, but I'm not gonna script this video. This is off the cuff. But I wanted to talk about this, and I am giving my unsolicited 2 cents. But don't worry, I will not go broke, because this isn't normally something I do. I am not St. Vincent de Paul, sorry. Anyways, I wanted to talk about the whole Emma Chamberlain, Anything Goes podcast fucking stupidity. I'm gonna put this out right now that I think this whole thing is really fucking stupid. Like, I think this is one of the dumbest online discourses I've ever seen, and I've been on Twitter and Tumblr since I was like 11 years old, literally half my life. I am 22, and I think it's really showing the elitism that a lot of people carry because they believe that in order to be seen as intelligent or as a marker of intelligence is going to university. And I'm not going to discredit going to college because that shit is fucking hard. I'm in my 4th year of going to college and I still don't have a degree to show for it. I'll get it done eventually. It's not the end of the world. If it takes me 10 years, hey, I'm going to be 28 anyways. I might as well have something to show for it. I wanted to talk about it because it's really been kind of bothering me, and I watched Tara Mooney's video today on Emma Chamberlain's thing, and I also watched Film Cooper's video a couple days ago. I need to stop mentioning him in my videos because people are going to think that I'm a fan even though I am. I swear I saw this shit on TikTok first, and then I promptly exited out of my brain, and then it came up on my YouTube homepage. Okay, anyways, I wanted to talk about a couple clips, and I wanted to talk about the podcast episode itself because I did listen to about half of it. Anything Goes isn't a particularly riveting podcast for me to listen to. It's kind of just one of those things that I turn on when I want background noise, but I don't necessarily want music. And that's not a criticism or anything. I don't think there's anything wrong with having things that aren't always the most intellectually stimulating. That's a personal opinion thing. I do think Emma Chamberlain is intelligent. I mean, hell, look at what she's done for herself. Look what she's created for herself. That's insane. She has her own coffee company that is incredibly successful. You have to be at least halfway intelligent to do that. And I think you understand what I'm saying. So the first clip that I want to talk about was the original clip of the TikTok that started this whole thing, of the blonde who was saying that Emma Chamberlain's just a girl that needs to go to college.
I genuinely don't say this to be rude, but Emma Chamberlain's podcast genuinely is just a girl that needs to go to college. I'm not saying that in the way that means, oh, she's dumb, she needs to go to college. She's just clearly a girl that needs to riff ideas with people. And sometimes they need a little feedback, right? Like, I think sometimes she gets in a little in her echo chamber. I also think she could benefit a lot from being guided in her studies, literary, philosophical. I also think it would give her a lot of stuff to talk about because she wouldn't be just thinking of the content and ideas on her own. She would instead be guided by a syllabus or just get ideas from being out in academic spaces, which is clearly the direction that she wants to take her podcast. Like, she's wanting to take it in this more philosophical, psychological.
The first thing that I want to say is that even if Emma Chamberlain did go to college, she would not have the same normal college experience as someone like me or someone like the TikToker. She's a multi-millionaire that is internationally famous. Do you really think that she would have the same experience? Do I think that she would benefit from taking like an online class? Absolutely. I think she 100% would. And I can understand why she doesn't want to, because I'm very tired of being in school right now and I'm halfway through my semester. I get it. Secondly, it really kind of showed the elitism and the classism a little bit, which I'm not going to talk about the classism part of it, but I will talk about the elitism. Going to university or college doesn't automatically make you smart, because honest to God, some of the dumbest fucking people I've ever met have been in college. Like, it makes me go, how did you graduate high school? How have you made it this far in life? Some of the smartest people I've ever met have not gone to college, or they haven't completed college, or they went a completely different kind of route. Like, they went to trade school, which you don't get a degree in trade school. You get certificates and training and stuff like that. The podcast clip.
My big criticism with the podcast has always been like, I do not think it is the environment for anyone to be pondering and questioning the philosophical meanings of life, or just like tropes, whether love exists or not, in their bed by themselves. Because the whole point of it is that you want feedback from somebody who doesn't have the same opinion as you, right? Or can provide arguments to things that don't. Like, as a child of divorce, it's not interesting to sit a room full of people who are all children of divorce to talk about why marriage doesn't last. We all have the same experience. I'm not going to learn anything from them. It would be more interesting to be in a room of 50% people who are children of divorce and 50% people who are not, to talk about like, what are the merits of marriage? And you know what I mean? Like, I just think it's like, she's kind of created this echo chamber for herself. I think you need to have somebody else in the room with you. Like, that's kind of the point of it. And even if you guys don't agree with one another, it's the point that you can like challenge each other's perspectives, which is why I do agree with you. I think a book club would be one of the smartest things she could do. Like, because she can still stick to those themes and explore those themes, but be reading a book by Alan Watts, or be reading Atomic Habits by James Clear, and be like, oh, this is something this person defined and outlined. This is my personal experience with that phenomena or with that subject. Because then, even if it's a solo podcast, there is this introduction of another opinion.
And it really kind of rubbed me the wrong way, because one, there's nothing wrong with filming something in bed or on a couch. I mean, for fuck's sake, the guy in the podcast is sitting on a couch. It doesn't really matter exactly where you decide to film things. And maybe, just fucking maybe, she doesn't care. Because that's not what her podcast is about. It's not about where she's filming it. And honestly, I kind of think the couch or the bed lends itself to a more personal kind of view, because that seems to be the vibe of Anything Goes, and has been since the beginning. And the second part of that podcast that really kind of irritated me was the fact that he was saying,
I just think it's like, she's kind of created this echo chamber for herself. I think you need to have somebody else in the room with you. Like, that's kind of the point of it. And even if you guys don't agree with one another, it's the point that you can like challenge each other's perspectives, which is why I do.
While the other person is agreeing with him and not really bouncing it off of him. That really kind of got to me. Like, you really think that she doesn't have people in her life that disagree with her on things or have conversations? Like, she has to go through approvals for these ideas. Like, it's not like she's just like, yeah, I'm gonna do this. It's not like where I can sit down and be like, I'm going to film a horror gameplay today, or I'm going to film an episode of Makeup and Mumbling. It's not like that. She's in a contract with Spotify for Anything Goes. I feel like this criticism isn't 100% valid. Like, I do understand where a lot of people are coming from and saying that her background is a lot different, so her viewpoints are obviously going to be different. Like, she hasn't worked what we consider to be a normal job, but that doesn't discredit her worldview of things, and that doesn't discredit anything that she says or her intelligence. She is very intelligent. You can see that in the way that she wants to speak. Tara made a really good point in her video.
These mistakes are not due to a lack of intelligence, but just a lack of practice in making these types of arguments.
I think is a totally valid criticism and compliment. Again, I understand where they're coming from, but also it kind of felt a little like dogpiling at some point, because at first I thought, okay, you know what? I get it. The criticism is valid. It just kept going. I'm like, okay, now it just kind of feels like you guys are envious that she's talking about how she feels like romantic love is an illusion. And honest to God, when I listened to that podcast episode, I went, this sounds like a 22-year-old woman who just broke up with her boyfriend. And don't deny that your diary or journal doesn't sound like that at some point, because I think it does, whether you include the data or statistics. The point is, I feel like that episode in particular was her just wanting to express her disappointment in romantic love, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Do I think she might need to be a little bit more careful of how she words things because of the influence that she has? Yes, your words have power whether you want them to or not. And I think a lot of influencers tend to forget that. This was more of just a rambling. And honestly, you could critique me for doing that because I think I'm doing exactly the same thing that she's getting criticized for. I just wanted to touch on that. Honestly, nothing I'm saying is revolutionary. Nothing I'm saying is new. I think it's fucking stupid. I feel like TikTok recycles the same drama that has gone through Twitter, Tumblr, and Instagram. And unfortunately, because there are so many more people, we have to hear about it for a little bit longer. That was my rambling. Let me know what you guys think about all of this. Really don't understand where all of this vitriol is coming from. Part of me wants to think that it's a little bit of envy, a little bit of jealousy, a little bit of it feels like she's putting in such a low effort and yielding such a high reward. Oh, she's never had to work a day in her life, as if YouTube isn't like a lot of work, especially if you have more exaggerated editing. I don't, because I'm boring. I also wanted to say thank you for all of the love on r/true rate me. I think I said it in my last makeup and mumbling episode, but I wanted to say it again because holy shit, that was incredible. I was not expecting that reception. That's crazy. I'm so glad you guys like it. And thank you for saying that I'm funny. I don't think I'm funny, or at least funny very often. I don't think I'm that funny, but hey, if you guys think I am, I'm not gonna oppose to it. Thank you guys for listening to my 2 cents. I swear to God, I will get better at intros and outros. I'm also recording a lot of videos because I'm gonna be getting my wisdom teeth out soon. So I want to get as much in or pre-recorded so I can just edit. Thank you so much. This is crazy. I'm having such a good time doing all of this. I'm really glad that a lot of people are receptive to it. Now remember, drink some water, get off your phone, go outside, read a book, or go to bed. And have a great day, night, fall, winter, spring, summer, wherever you are. Bye!